So this chapter is written by Peter Holtfluer. Both of those two chapters. He's a pastor here in Ontario at a Canadian Reformed church, and he's written these very helpful chapters. But it kind of gives to the congregation a mindset of ministerial compensation. And no minister enters the ministry, no godly one at least, for financial gain. However, our church order, Book of Church Order, says that the congregation is to provide honorably for their pastor. And what does that look like? And so he gives some practical tips. But as we see throughout this book, the spiritual nature of supporting those who are shepherds in the local congregation. In our history, it's not very common for a minister to have another job outside of the full-time pastorate. So that impacts, the type of provision the congregation will have to make for him. And that involves, his time off, realistic expectations. We've all seen, probably we've all seen situations where things go bad because of unrealistic expectations. Congregations think the pastor should be doing this and looking at that. I saw a couple weeks ago, I saw a Babylon Bee article on a minister driving a 98 Corolla. People in the congregation by their pastors at spending so lavishly. And as those are, they're funny critiques of a real caricature. And so, Peter helps to keep people from falling down that path, and just to give guidance to the leaders of a church.
I think in addition to that, the chapter is meant to help what could otherwise be a very difficult conversation between, better for elders and deacons to learn from, a more objective person in this conversation than the minister who, feels like he has, they have different expectations of compensation or whatever. You're going to be very partial in that position as a minister trying to communicate to your elders or deacons. But hopefully, just this chapter allows the decision makers to step back a little bit and say, we'll listen to this guy. He's not asking for a raise here in the chapter. He's not arguing for this. It's just biblical principles for for taking care of the minister. So hopefully it removes a little bit of the emotional tension that the conversation might otherwise have.
Oh, that's a good point.